Good evening, friends. Welcome to our Wednesday on our webinar series. So in today's webinar, we are going to discuss how to face technical interviews in campus recruitment. In our previous webinars, we have discussed about the major concepts in C programming language. We have started with arrays and then we discussed pointers, functions and structures. So all these are major concepts in C programming language. So if you want to practice more problem in that, you can watch those webinars and practice more problem in online compiler. So in today's webinar, we are going to focus mainly on technical interview section in campus recruitment. So this will be suitable for both product-based company as well as service-based companies. In general, we can classify the technical interview as a two type. One is, it is based on your domain-specific questions. For example, if you are from a mechanical or civil or ECE, you may get technical questions from your domain subjects like thermodynamics, structural engineering, and microprocessor, etc. So the questions will be coming from your core engineering subject. This is the one type of interview. The second type of technical interviews, you will be getting questions from the basic programming skills like C, C++ and object-oriented programming concept. So if you are going to attend any IT service company, you have to prepare these programming skills to face the technical interviews. Okay, so in today's webinar, we are going to focus on technical interview questions on programming concept. If you are from ECE or mechanical or civil and any other core engineering branch, and if you want to attend any IT interviews, so you should be good in these areas. So watch the webinar till the end, and this webinar is based on the feedback given by you. So many students have suggested to conduct a webinar on technical interviews. So based on their feedback, we are going to conduct this webinar today. So if you have any questions and if you that needs to be answered in the webinar, you can post in the comments. We will create a separate webinar based on that in upcoming weeks. Okay, so let's get started. So in today's webinar, we are going to discuss some of the frequently asked questions, and in today's webinar, we are going to focus mainly on difference between questions, like what is the difference between while loop and do while loop. What is the difference between structure and union? So we are going to focus mainly difference between questions in today's webinar. Okay, so we will discuss the remaining type of questions in the upcoming webinar. Apart from this, we are going to discuss about CCQT of TCS. TCS is going to conduct a campus qualifier test for 2018, 19 and 20 batch, and the last date for this TCS CCQT is March 3. So you have to apply before that, and many companies are going to recruit based on this TCS CCQT. So I'm going to explain about that at the end of this webinar. Similarly, we'll tell you about the placement season courses for 2020 batch as well as our free resources. So let's move on to our core part of the webinar. What is the difference between double equal to and single equal to? So as explained here, double equal to is a comparison operator and single equal to is an assignment operator. So we use this double equal to symbol to compare two variables and single equal to assign that value to some other element. So here, as it says, it is used to compare an item to another item to see if they are equal. Mostly we will use this double equal to in if condition, while loop, do while loop, etc. Okay, so just to compare two numbers, and this single equal to is used to assign the value from one variable to another variable. For example, A equal to B means we are assigning the value from B to A, and in this case, if we give A equal to B means we are comparing these two variables. Let's discuss this with a simple example also. So in this program, I have declared two variables x, y, and I have assigned the values to x and y. So here I have used double equal to in if condition. It means that we are comparing these two variables. So as per this program, it should print false. For example, the value of x is 10 and value of y is 13. Here this condition is false. It means that we will get some non-zero value. Sorry, 0. The condition is false. It means we will be getting 0 here. So the else part will be executed in this scenario. So if I modify this program to if x equal to y, that is instead of double equal to, if I give single equal to, it means that this 13 will be assigned to X. So the value in the Y will be assigned to X and 13 will be stored in X, and 13 is a non-zero value. So this condition will be true irrespective of the values. So it will print true. So in this program, if you give double equal to, it will print false. If you give single equal to, it will print true. The reason is, so in this statement it is comparing two values. In this statement it is just assigning the values. If the assigning the value is some non-zero value, it will be considered as a true statement in this case. So the difference between single equal to and double equal to is, single equal to is used to assign the value from one variable to another variable, and double equal to is used to compare two variables. Mostly it is used in if and loop statements. Next, let's discuss the difference between pre-increment and post-increment. So here we are going to discuss the difference between plus plus A and A plus plus. So the same thing is applicable for the minus, that is pre-decrement and post-decrement. Let's discuss a simple example by using A plus plus and plus plus A. So in this we have given A plus plus. It means that the value of A will be incremented 1. Increment by 1. For example, if the value of A equal to 3 in the statement, and if you use A plus plus, the value of A will be 4 after executing this statement. So similarly, if you use plus plus A and the value of A equal to 3 and the value will be 4 after executing this statement. So what is the difference between these two? So in both the scenario, the value of A is getting incremented by 1. So what is the difference between these two? So the main difference between these pre-increment and post-increment will have, it is easy to understand the difference one and only if you assign the value to some other variable. For example, here A equal to 3 and B equal to A plus plus. Similarly, one more statement, A equal to 3 and B equal to plus plus A. So after executing this statement, the value of A and B, value of A in both the scenario will be 4. Value of A equal to 4 in the first case, value of A equal to 4 in the second case also. But what is the value of B in first and second case? So in this case, the value of A is first assigned to B. So the B value is 3 and this increment will happen after assigning this value to B. But in this case, this value will get incremented to 4. After that, it will assign. So the B value will become 4 in this case. In the first scenario, B equal to 3 and A equal to 4. In the second scenario, B equal to 4 and again A equal to 4. So if you assign the value to some other variable, this difference occurs. But if you use the statement alone, that is A plus plus or plus plus A, this two just increment the value by 1. But if you assign, there is a difference. So A plus plus will work like this. B equal to A plus plus will work like this. So first B equal to A and then A equal to A plus 1. In the second case, B equal to plus plus A will work like this. A equal to A plus 1 and then B equal to A. So value will be stored first and then increment. Here the value will increment and then it will be stored. So this is the difference between pre-increment and post-increment. If you use the statement separately, there is no difference. But if you assign to some other variable, there will be difference between pre and post-increment. The same thing is applicable for the pre-decrement as well as post-decrement. Okay. Next, let's discuss the difference between while loop and do while loop. So this is the basic question you can expect in most of the IT campus interviews. So you will get this question and based on your answer, the HR will decide the next difficulty level questions. If you answer correct to this question, the next question will be a little bit difficult than this. So based on your answer for this question, they will decide the difficulty level of next set of questions. So understand the concept of while loop and do while loop clearly and explain this with a simple example so that they will get a clear idea about how your programming knowledge is. Okay, so let's start with this. So here we have given a while loop. In the while loop we have a condition. Again in do while loop we have a condition. But in this case, in while loop we are checking the condition at the beginning of loop. But in case of do while, we are checking the condition at the end of the loop. It means that we are not checking any condition while entering into do while loop. So even though the condition is false, the do while loop will execute at least one time. So this is the major difference between while and do while loop. I repeat, even though the condition is false in do while loop, the statements will execute at least one time. So if the condition is true, it's a different scenario. So both will execute in a similar way. But if condition is false, then only there is a difference between while and do while loop. Okay. So let's discuss the same thing with an example also. Here I have a set of statements. The first one is based on while loop and second set is based on do while loop. So here the value of n equal to 0, n less than or equal to 10 and print out. So in this scenario the condition is true. And look at the second set of statement, n equal to 0 and execute and the condition is true. So the condition is true in both while and do while loop in this scenario. So these two loops will execute in a similar way if the condition is true. Let me change this 0 as 12 and this as a 12. So it means that I am making the condition false in the beginning itself. That is, the loop will fail in first iteration itself. So here, if the condition n equal to 2 and this condition will be failed and it won't execute anything. So it won't print anything if the condition is false. But in this case, the condition, we are not checking the condition at the beginning. So this loop will print 12 and then it will be incremented. So condition will get false. It won't execute the next iteration. So in this case, if condition is false, we don't get any output in this statement. Even though if condition is false, we will get the first value. So again, I repeat, the difference between do while and while loop is if the condition is false, the statement in the do while loop will execute at least one time. In while loop, it won't execute. So this is the major difference between do while and while loop. So this do while loop will be mainly used in menu-driven programming. For example, if you are doing some program related to stack or queue or linked list, mostly you will be displaying some content to the user in the beginning, like press 1 to push, press 2 to pop, press 3 to display, and 4 to exit. So this needs to be displayed in the beginning itself. So for this type of program, you have to use do while loop. And for general purpose, you can use while loop. So while loop and for loop will be similar. Their working process will be similar in nature. While loop and for loop. The one difference between while and for loop is in the for loop we will be having the initialization, condition, and then increment in a single statement itself. But in while loop we have to write 3 different statements. So there is no difference between the while loop and for while in terms of working. But there is a difference between while and do while if the condition is false. Next, let's discuss the difference between break and continue. So break statement skips the statements and come out from the loop. If you use break statement in a program and the program is about to execute the break statement, means it will skip the remaining part and it will come out from the loop. So we have discussed about the break statement while discussing the switch concept. We have used the break to come out from the particular case. For example, if it matches with first case and if you want to come out from that particular case, you can use the break. If you forgot to use the break in switch, it won't show any error message. Instead of that, it will execute the remaining statement in the switch. So that is the purpose of break in the switch case. So it means that it will come out from that particular case. So this break can also be used in the looping statement to come out from the loop after that particular execution. But in case of continue, it skips the remaining statement and starts the next iteration of the loop. For example, if the loop has executed some 4 iterations and if it encounters some continue statement after that 4, it will skip the 5th one and it will start the 6th iteration of the loop. So this is the major difference between break and continue. And another difference is break can be used in switch and loop also. But continue cannot be used with the switch statement. It only suitable for looping statement. Let's discuss the same thing by using the simple program using code blocks IDE also. Okay, here is the simple example to explain break and continue. So in this program, we are going to modify the break statement and continue statement. So let's execute this program and understand it the better way. So here I have given a break statement and followed by a printf. So it means that this program will execute and print the statement until if the condition is met. So for example, if I value becomes 5, it will come out from the loop. So the output for this program should be okay. So the loop started and it executed first iteration, second, third and fourth. So it matches with the given condition and it comes out from the loop. It means that it won't execute the remaining part of the loop. So if break statement is executed, it will come out from that particular loop. Next, let me change this break statement into continue. Now let's try to execute this program. So here I am executing the program. Let's check the output for this program also. So in this statement, the output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is not printed here. Then it prints 6, 7, 8 and 9. It means that this continue skips the statement for this condition. For example, if I equal to 5, it skipped and then it started the next iteration of the loop. That's why the value of 5 is not printed in the previous, not printed in this set. So the difference between break and continue is if the break statement executes, it skips the statements below it and come out from the loop. In case of continue, it skips the statement and starts the next iteration of the loop. So this is the major difference between break and continue. So break statement can be used in switch and loop, but continue cannot be used in the switch. You have to use the continue only in the loop statement. Okay, next let's discuss the difference between structure and union. So if you answer correctly for do and while loop difference, you may get the next question is what is the difference between structure and union. So we have discussed about this difference in our previous webinar also. Let me explain once again. So here the structure and union both are user defined data type. It means that like the predefined data types in character and float, we can create a data type by using structure and union. So we can combine many data types in a single name. For example, if a student, we are going to do some program for student, we can store roll number, which is integer type, his name as a character, and mark again as an integer, and then average as a float type. It means that we can combine the existing, that is predefined data type, and we can create a new data type by using structure and union. So the similarity between structure and union is both are user defined data types. Both contains the variable of different data types. Next, the same syntax for definition, declaration and accessing those variables. So there is no difference in declaring, defining and accessing the elements of structure. Okay. So the main difference between structure and union is in structure, each member gets separate memory location. That is, the total memory required to store a structured variable is equal to sum of size of all the members. For example, if you create a structure with an integer variable and a character and a float, means you need 2 plus 1 plus 4 bytes to store this. That is, each and every element in a structure will get a separate memory space. But in case of union, the total memory space allocated is equal to the member with largest size. For example, if you create a union with int, character and a float. So integer will take 2 bytes, character 1 and float will take 4 bytes. So only 4 bytes of memory will be allocated to this union. It will be accessed by all the elements. That means if you store an integer, it uses the same memory location. Again, if you store a float, it will replace the already existing integer value and the new value will be stored in the same memory location. So the main difference between structure and union is allocation of memory. In structure, it allocates memory for all data types. In union, it allocates memory only for the data type with largest size. Okay. Next, let's discuss the difference between call by value and call by reference. So we have discussed about call by value and call by reference in our previous webinar itself. We have discussed with a simple example by swapping two numbers. So what will happen if you swap two numbers by using call by value and call by reference? We have explained by using a simple program. I will tell you the difference only in this slide. If you want to understand clearly about the usage of call by value and call by reference by declaring all the functions and variables, you can refer our previous video which is based on functions. We have explained clearly in that. But in this slide, I will tell you only the difference between call by value and call by reference. In call by value, if you call a function, the copy of actual arguments is passed. So remember, the copy of actual arguments, not the actual arguments is entering into the function. Only the copy goes into the function. That is, a copy of actual arguments is passed to formal arguments of the called function. So we are not sending the original arguments, we are sending the copy only. Okay, so it means that if you make any change inside the function, it won't reflect in the main function. So any changes made to the formal arguments in the called function have no effect on the values of actual arguments in the calling function. It means that you are not sending the actual arguments into the function, you are sending only the copy into the function. It means that if you make any changes in the function, that value will not reflect in the main function, that is called function. So this is call by value. In call by reference, we are sending the address of the particular variable. We are not sending the actual argument, we are sending the address of the particular argument. So the location is passed to formal arguments of the called function. It means that you accessing by using the address only. If you make any changes in that particular address, that will be reflected in the main function also. So if the changes you are making in subfunction should reflect in main function, means you can use call by reference. So in call by reference, the value in memory will be altered based on the function's parameter. So it will get reflected in all the areas. So in simple words, if you want to say the difference between call by value and call by reference, in call by value, we are not sending the actual argument into the function, we are sending only copy of the value, copy of that particular value. If you make any change inside the function, it won't reflect in the main function or called function. But in case of call by reference, we are sending the address of the particular argument. If you make any changes in that particular address, that will be reflected in all the functions, in the called function as well as calling function also. Okay, so as I said earlier in the webinar, I'm going to tell about the TCS CCQT. So it's Common Corporate Qualifier Test conducted by TCS. So TCS has introduced this recently, and many students have already registered for this CCQT. So students from any college across the country can take this test by registering in the TCS portal. So whoever qualifies the test based on their score, they will get the opportunity to get into top companies. So it is similarly like AMCAT test. So earlier AMCAT used to conduct the test for the students, and based on your AMCAT score, you will get interview call from other companies. Similarly, this is the new initiative from TCS, and you can apply for this. So for this qualifier test, pre-final years, final years, and fresh graduates, that is 2020, 2019, and 2018 batch students are eligible to write this test. So TCS will be conducting this test in many centers across the India on March 17th. The last date for this registration is 3rd March. So there are more details about the TCS Common Corporate Qualifier Test in the link given here. You can visit this link and understand the importance of this TCS qualifier test. Maybe you can take the screenshot of this page and share it with your friends, and it will be benefit for both of you. Okay, so go through the link and read the information given in that link, and again go to the TCS official link, apply for that link. So it's an opportunity for the students all over the India. Students from any college can take part in this TCS qualifier test. Utilize this opportunity, and we have a test based on this CCQT. So if you want to practice some mock test before attempting the actual test, you can again practice the test in the link given here. So here is the details of placement season course, which we have designed exclusively for 2020 batch. We have designed 6 courses that will help you to crack IT as well as product companies. In the first, programming for placement advanced, and in programming for placement beginner course, you will be getting the test which will help you to crack the top IT service as well as product companies. So if you are trying to crack IT service company, we suggest you to practice the test in programming for placements beginner. And if you want to crack IT product companies, and we suggest you to practice tests in the programming for placement advanced concept. So similarly, this aptitude for placement is suitable for those who are trying for IT service as well as product company, and even if you are trying for some GATE exam or competitive exam, this aptitude for placements will help you to improve your aptitude skills. In this aptitude for placements, you will be getting quants, reasoning and verbal tests, and these tests are categorized according to the difficulty level. We will be getting level 1, level 2 and level 3 difficulty level questions. So these tests are categorized according to the topic, and you can practice the topics which you feel it is difficult for you. So these 3 are the tests, and in this test we have given the video solution for the programming questions. You can watch those videos if you have some doubt. And these 3 are the preparatory course which will help you to understand the basic concepts of the programming language. So it is C, C++ and Java programming preparatory course. It will have videos, concept videos. You can watch those videos and take practice test as well as assessment test in this programming preparatory course. So the details of all these courses are available in this link, po.st/ps course. You can take the screenshot of this page if required and share it with your friends if they are ready to practice these tests. So you can take screenshot if it is required and watch the details about these courses in the link given here. So if you want to practice those tests, you can purchase using this discount coupon code SkillUpEarly15. You will be getting 15% discount in all the test packages. So as I said in the beginning, we have some free resources that will help you to crack the campus recruitment easily. So we conduct company specific mock test on every Sunday, and this mock test series has started on January 6th, and many students have started to take test. More than 5,000 students are taking test on every week, and we will be giving the complete analysis and solution on the next day of the test. So if you are taking test on Sunday, again visit the website on Monday to get the complete analysis and solution of the test. We will be also releasing the toppers list. You can watch the toppers list and compare the score of topper with your mark. Then here is the registration link of our free test. Again, I'm saying that you can take the screenshot and share it with your friends if it is required. The link to our free test is po.st/free test. So these are the free tests available in our placement season for your preparation. Similarly, we conduct this live webinar on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. You can watch this video in our YouTube channel, and you can watch the recorded video also. We are having many concept videos and recruitment pattern based video in our YouTube channel. So this video is available in our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. You can watch it anytime. So see you in next webinar. Thank you, friends.